this is John Colo at DiscountJuicers.com. Today with another exciting episode for you guys, and what we're going to do today is compare two different juicers on the market. And what we're going to do is compare the TriBest Slowstar juicer to the JuicePresso Platinum juicer. Now, both these juicers are vertical single auger machines, and they're both made in Korea. And some of the similarities end there because they're both a little bit different. As vertical auger juicers, you know, they're the most versatile style juicer. They all juice things like fruits and hard vegetables and even leafy greens, right? And even wheatgrass if you're not going to juice a ton of it in straight. So they're really versatile. But the designs are just a little bit different. And, you know, there's a lot of things going on in the market and, you know, companies making claims that may not be fully accurate. So I'm here to share with you guys the truth about how these machines differ, how they're the same, and more importantly, how they operate and how they work in a real world actual juice off comparison. So now let's go ahead and compare these juicers. The first thing that you'll notice about both these machines is the price. Sticker shock. So actually the JuicePresso machine is $170 more than the Slowstar juicer. So in my book, like if it's something $170 more expensive, it better be like at least 1.5 times better, you know, and work significantly better than a machine that actually costs less money and offers you more flexibility. Now, besides just juicing, which the JuicePresso Platinum only will juice, the Slowstar machine comes with this attachment. This is called the mincing and homogenizing attachment. This is the attachment that allows you to make, you know, frozen fruit sorbets, or also known as banana ice cream. Even though there's no cream, it's 100% frozen bananas. You take the bananas, you know, you peel them, you freeze them in a Ziploc bag, you take them out, you put them through here with this attachment, and out this side here will instantly come some frozen banana sorbet. Much like that soft serve machine, you know, at the fast food joint that you used to eat that you're not eating anymore because this 100% banana is a lot more healthy for you than monodiglycerides and, you know, milk products that have antibiotics and preservatives and artificial flavors and colors and sugars. So this machine comes with this attachment, and there's not many vertical slow juicers that include this attachment. So I really like this attachment, not only for making frozen fruit desserts. You could do frozen bananas, blueberries, frozen cantaloupes. I mean, any kind of frozen fruit you could put through here and literally make a frozen dessert out of so that you and your family could start eating healthier. And the JuicePresso does not offer this attachment to do this task. In addition, this attachment will also allow you to make your own nut butters at home. Like if you put some roasted peanuts through here, it'll grind it up and make a nice, delicious peanut butter so that you guys know what you're eating. You're eating 100% peanuts, you know, without any kind of additives or sugars or preservatives, which in my opinion are some of the worst things that you shouldn't be putting in your body. In addition, I've made things like salsa. So I've just put, you know, tomatoes and cilantro and onions and everything through here, and it just comes out in a nice salsa-like texture. And there's so many other uses you can use this for. Anything that you would want to mince or grind up, you could run it through here. If you're still drinking coffee, which I don't recommend, I'd recommend making a juice instead. But you could grind up your coffee beans in here too. So this is a really, you know, versatile unit that allows you to do extra things besides just juice, and this is all for $150 less than the JuicePresso. So aside from the price, let's talk about the warranty. The warranty is very important to me as someone who got into juicing and lifestyle and dietary changes for my health, because I determined at a young age your health is your greatest wealth. And if you know, the company that makes the juicer goes out of business, or they're no longer around, or the warranty's too short, you're not gonna get your money's worth, you know. And so the JuicePresso company that's importing it into the United States, they're a relatively new company, just established a couple years ago. And so if they go under, then the 7-year warranty on the JuicePresso is kaput. You have no warranty, you have no service. Meanwhile, TriBest, on the other hand, has been in business in the United States for over 25 years now, and they support the Slowstar machine with a full 10-year warranty. So that's 3 extra years over the JuicePresso, all for $170 less. So, you know, I'm really looking forward to seeing how this performs, because it really better perform well, because already you guys can see there's a disadvantage. Now let's get into potentially some of the advantages of the JuicePresso. So this is the standard single auger vertical design. You basically have a top on this side, and we have a top on this side. So that's pretty much the same. But if we look at the top, I mean, I like this top actually. It's a lot smaller and compact, which means, you know, less to clean. This one's actually a little bit larger and has some nooks and crannies, a little bit maybe more difficult to clean. But if we look at the feed chute size, the feed chute, it's probably about, I don't know, 75% of the Slowstar feed chute, so it's like smaller. So this means you're gonna have to cut up some of the produce smaller on the JuicePresso than on the Slowstar. And this is curious because, I mean, this does have a DC motor, which generally will have more torque, so they don't want you to overload it. Meanwhile, I've never been able to stop up the Slowstar putting anything in it. Next, of course, both machines have that vertical auger here. And here's the auger on the Slowstar. It's nice and big and beefy. And I'll point out it actually has two basically quote-unquote cutting blades, even though they're not really cutting. These go around so they cut up the produce as you put it in, so it's going to do a more effective job in juicing, whereas this auger has only one cutting blade. Now what you're going to notice is this is an auger with a built-in screen. Now, you know, JuicePresso company would say, oh yeah, you only got one part to clean. Well, really, this is two parts because it actually does come out. And, you know, when juicing in this previously, if I did not take this apart, there's all this juice residues in this little part here that I wasn't able to clean properly, and that got to get funky over time. So really, this is two parts. And so these are the auger comparison. So the auger, you know, on the Slowstar juicer, a lot more auger space, which means it's probably going to grind up the produce better, which is probably going to mean a higher yield in the end. Next, of course, is we have the juicing screen here. And this is the juicing screen on the Slowstar juicer. The juicing screen on the Slowstar juicer has probably like the most surface area of any slow vertical juicer that I've seen. And here's the juicing screen on the JuicePresso. Now notice the difference. You know, there's a lot more holes on the Slowstar screen, and this is a two-stage screen. So this is the first stage, the second stage. The first stage holes are basically when you put the produce in and juice is instantly crushed and comes out. That's the first stage set of holes where the holes are a bit larger. And then as the produce gets crushed up and squeezed more, the juice comes out the second stage. On the JuicePresso, there's only one stage, and actually the holes look to be actually smaller than the Slowstar. So does this mean you'll actually get less pulp in the juice? It may be so. Also on the JuicePresso, I want you guys to notice, like on the Slowstar, basically, except for some of these reinforcement plastic pieces, there's a screen area all around, so that's mostly covered with screen area, maybe 80%. And on the JuicePresso, I mean, it's all stainless steel around the outside, but on the inside it's all reinforced plastic. But we have a screen area here to here, and then we have basically a blank, empty spot with no screen, and then a screen area here. You guys could more clearly see that on the inside if I maybe tilt it up for you guys. You guys could see there's you know, the plastic inside reinforcement. And so that actually cuts off your screen area. So I would estimate maybe like 60% of this is screen and, you know, as a circumference, and I don't know, more screen area on the Slowstar for the juice to get out and actually get into your collection cup. Next, of course, on the Slowstar, which actually you don't have on the JuicePresso, is this piece right here. This could be a pro or con. It's one less piece you don't have to clean on the JuicePresso. But this serves, in my opinion, a very important purpose. This actually goes on the juicing screen, and it rotates basically to keep the juicing screen clean, you know, to basically slough the juice off so that it comes out the spout instead of maybe just kind of getting hung up in there. So this encourages the juice to continue to flow. Also, it helps to keep your screen a little bit cleaner so that when you're done cleaning it up, there's not going to be as much pulp stuck in the screen, whereas the JuicePresso doesn't have this option. So that may mean, depending if you're juicing large volumes, the screen may get more clogged because there's nothing literally that's helping you clean it, and also it's going to be easier to clean in the end because this is, you know, in fact, helping to clean your screen and keep it clean and free to breathe to increase your yield. So the next part, of course, we have the bowls here. Both of them have the stopper here, so you can prevent drips on your countertop. And on the Slowstar, it's actually you know, nice and clear plastic. You know, no major nooks and crannies. I could get in there easy with my hand to scrub it out with a brush or whatever. And then on the JuicePresso here, it's actually tall and narrow, so it's a little bit more difficult, and my hand's kind of small, to get in there to like clean this, and you have to get a brush in there to clean it. In addition, the hole here where the juice comes out, you know, it's not as easy to get in there as the Slowstar because it's actually a lot larger on the Slowstar. But more importantly, where the pulp comes out. This is where you'll get pulp blockages, where you're going to have to clean out every single time after you're done juicing. You know, because they have actually cutout on it, you can kind of get your finger in there and more easily clean it out with your finger or the provided, you know, brush tool. And on the JuicePresso, this is a lot longer and it's a little bit more difficult to get your finger in there. Now on both the machines, they do have a little silicone plug on the bottom, and the silicone plug acts as a little gatekeeper. So what the silicone plug job to do is to keep the pulp inside the machine until it's fully wrung out and dry, and then let it out. So you're going to get the highest yield. So let's see here. So on the JuicePresso, the area where the pulp comes out, it's actually, let's see here, a little bit smaller than on the Slowstar. So this may mean you may get some pulp blockages depending on what you're juicing. In addition, there's some nice curved pieces in there that looks like you may be able to, you know, get stuck with some fibers, whereas you have a pretty clear shot on the Slowstar for the pulp to come out. So that's really important. Now also on the Slowstar, you do have this little spinning gear here that turns the wiping blade, and then you have the wiping blade gears. This is another part to clean, and so that may be an issue. But yeah, otherwise that's pretty much it. We're going to go ahead and now reassemble these guys, and we're going to go ahead and get into juicing. And reassembling on both these guys is really easy. You're going to make sure always the pulp flap is pushed in full and tight. We're going to go ahead and lock that into place, take the screen and the wiping blade, line up the white dots, drop that into place, snap in. We're going to go ahead and put the auger right down in there. It's going to lock into place, and take the top and lock it in. JuicePresso, super simple, super easy to assemble. We're going to put the plug in there. And actually, I like that this is a drop-on design. You just drop it on there, no problem. Then we're going to go ahead and need to reassemble the auger and the screen assembly. There's a lock and unlock, a padlock, and you're going to line it up with this arrow on here to the unlock position. Snap it into the lock position and drop this guy in there. So frankly, there are less parts to clean on the JuicePresso, which actually I do like, but on the other hand, it is over $170 more for this machine. So now that you got the breakdown of all the different parts, I want to go ahead and turn the machines on for you guys to let you guys know how it sounds. One of the selling points of the JuicePresso is that it's the lowest RPM, you know, vertical auger juicer on the market, which they claim it's 40 RPM revolutions per minute. And granted, that is quite slow, and it also has a DC motor, which they tout as an advantage. But let me go ahead and turn this guy on and let you guys hear what it sounds like. So it is relatively quiet, it's not super loud, but if you notice, to me, that's kind of like a high-pitched whine. And to me, that's a little bit kind of annoying, despite it maybe being softer overall in decibels. Let's go ahead and turn the Slowstar juicer on. So the Slowstar juicer has a deeper voice, kind of like me. And it's actually, you know, not quite as annoying. It's like, if you had a high-pitched girl yelling at you all the time, you probably wouldn't like it. And that's kind of like the JuicePresso, in my opinion. The Slowstar is like a nice, solid guy talking, you know. But anyways, so that's just my opinion. So this one doesn't run at 40 RPMs. It actually runs at 47 RPMs, or 7 RPMs revolutions per minute more, which is not a big factor. Now, the older generation of the vertical augers run at 80 RPMs, which is about double these guys. And do I think that makes a major difference? You know, the RPMs is not a major difference. The problem with the other machines that run at higher RPMs generally is that they tend to get clogged up and stuck, and the pulp doesn't come out because it's just not properly designed. And they've improved, and you know, the Slowstar is the second generation vertical auger juicer on the market, and there's only one other one at this time, and these are the two that I currently recommend. So I'm interested to see how the JuicePresso will compare to it. So what I'm going to do next, I'm going to go ahead and prepare some papaya to juice this morning for you guys, to show you guys how these two machines juice some fresh papaya. So now I'm back, and we're all ready to juice some fresh papaya that I've prepared today in the two vertical slow juicers, the Slowstar and the JuicePresso Premium. So what we're juicing today are these guys ripe papayas. So in many juicers, papayas would make a mess. Centrifugal ejection machines, you could try to put papaya through there and it's just going to mush up and you're going to get very little juice. It's going to be fully aerated and not so good. Even things like twin gears and horizontal augers on papaya will choke. They will not juice it super well when you're juicing them alone. Now if you want to juice them with some carrots, they're going to do way better. But the reason why I like the vertical juicers is because they allow you to juice a variety of fruits and vegetables, from fruits like nice firm papayas to hard carrots to even leafy greens. So that's why I thought I'd juice papaya for you guys today. Plus, when I get papayas that aren't fully ripe like these guys, I mean, although these look good, they're not super sweet because they pick them too early, unfortunately. If you're living in the mainland, you know, US, we're getting papayas that aren't optimally ripened because they're picked a little bit too early and they just never have that full flavor that you would get when you would, say, visit Hawaii and be in the Caribbean on the beach. So that's why I like to juice them. So to juice them, what we do is I basically cut off all the skin and then I actually take out all the seeds, and that's what we have here, de-skinned and seeded papaya ready to juice. And what we have here is we have 48.2 ounces on each plate that we're going to juice in each of these machines. So without further ado, I want to go ahead and get into juicing for you guys and show you how easy it is in both these machines, because basically vertical auger juicers are like auto feeding. So first we're going to start with the Slowstar. Turn this baby on. We're going to take our pieces of papaya here and we're just going to cut them into long strips here. And we're going to take a strip and we're just going to drop it in there, and we're going to go ahead and let the machine go to work. So as I'm, cutting it into strips, the machine's working, so I really like this auto feeding feature. And just drop the next piece in. It's going to take it, and as you guys can see, we got some delicious, rich papaya juice coming out. Now, papayas are rich in an enzyme known as papain, which is really good for you guys. I eat my papayas raw, so we have all the enzymes. Now, if you're buying papaya juice in the store, it's been heat processed and it will not have the enzymes as well as the nutrition in pasteurized juices are diminished. Some of the most important nutrients like the phytochemicals and phytonutrients reduce greatly. Like, other things like minerals are minimally affected. But as you guys can see, the Slowstar is doing an amazing job juicing the papaya. We can see got some nice juice coming out and all the pulp. And this is very important to me to juice fruits that actually don't taste super sweet because they're just picked too early. The juicer really will help you to intensify the flavors of produce that don't taste so good. In addition, what it also allows you to do is increase the consumption of the fruit you would normally be eating. So for example, if I had carrots here and I was using 5 pounds of carrots, that's a lot of carrots to eat. I could easily put away one whole papaya, but now we're removing the fiber, which is, on one hand good for us, and this is removing only the insoluble fiber. Keeps all the soluble fiber because the soluble fiber is soluble in water, and that's what we're making. We're making the juice water. We're removing only the insoluble fiber, which is good. I eat insoluble fiber other parts of the day when I have like my nice big salad or soup meal in the evening. Really rich in fiber. Now we do need our fiber. But a reason for removing the fiber is because, fiber can act as a hindrance for your digestion, especially if you're not chewing your food well enough. Now, I always encourage you guys to, more likely juice your vegetables, but blend or eat your fruits whole, because you're going to get more fiber, and the fruit fiber is a lot softer than, vegetable fiber, right? All right, so it looks like we're down to our last piece of papaya in the Slowstar. This has worked amazingly. As you guys can see, the pulp is coming out over on this side, and the juice is still flowing out that side. So one of the tips I want to give you guys is when you're done putting the last produce item through a vertical slow juicer, you want to let the juicer run a little bit longer to extract all the juice. As you guys can see, we still got juice dripping out there, and the pulp is pretty much stopped moving, so that's a good indicator to let us know that it's a good time to turn this machine off. Next, we're going to go ahead and juice in the JuicePresso to see how it does. Now, it does have a smaller feed chute, so we're going to have to cut up the produce in a little bit smaller pieces. I do like the housing on here is a little bit, you know, clear and see-through, so you can kind of see what's going on in there. It looks like the JuicePresso is handling the papaya actually fairly well, as did the Slowstar. Now, one of the tips I want to give you guys, if you're juicing papaya, you want to select nice, firm papaya, and this goes for any fruit. You know, these juicers, although they will juice fruits, if you get nice, soft, mushy fruit, it's not going to juice. Like if you had nice, soft, mushy apples, and you know they're soft and whatnot, they're really going to make a mush instead of a juice. So as you guys can see, the JuicePresso is actually working quite well on the papaya. We've actually juiced pretty much half the papaya. I think actually, technically, it's working a little bit better than the Slowstar that had some challenges with the softer texture. And this is like, you know, is evident just by the design. But I don't know if you guys can see that, but if we look inside the JuicePresso, you're going to see a lot of the papaya that's kind of just hanging out inside that's actually not getting ejected. So we're going to go ahead and continue to feed in this papaya to see how the JuicePresso will perform. Alright, so it looks like the JuicePresso is doing quite well, taking all that papaya in. Now, as you guys can see inside the hopper of the JuicePresso, you can totally see there's a lot of papaya still in there. The pulp is flowing out, so this is actually a little bit better than the Slowstar in the fact that, you know, the pulp is continually still moving out, and in the Slowstar near the end it kind of got a little bit jammed up in there because there wasn't enough fiber to push through. With this machine, it hasn't been an issue, and it looks like that was the last piece of papaya. We're just going to go ahead and let this run a little bit longer until the pulp stops flowing out and the juice stops flowing, and then we're going to go ahead and get to check our yields. Alright, let's go ahead and turn the JuicePresso off. Looks like it's finally done dripping, and both juicers at the end made a lot of thick, like rich, pulpy juice versus a finer, thinner juice in the beginning. So if you're juicing like one papaya total, like a smaller one, it probably wouldn't have an issue. But near the end, let you guys know it did get more of a, you know, a thicker consistency, kind of like those Kern's nectars you might have drank, you know, more of a nectar type consistency instead of a juice, right? So let's go ahead and move these guys aside, and let's go ahead and take a look at how much each of these juicers yielded up close and center. Let's go ahead and do a close-up on the yield the juicers made. First, we're going to start with the JuicePresso side. So if we look at the JuicePresso side, looks like there's the 1 quart line, and it's just under 32 ounces of juice on the JuicePresso side. And going over to the Slowstar side, looks like it made a little bit more juice. This will be hard for you guys to read there, but let's see if we can zoom in a little bit. That's the 1 quart line, or 32 ounces. As you guys could see, the Slowstar side produced above the 32 ounce mark. So I don't know if that's like 33, maybe 34 ounces. But clearly the juicer made 2 more ounces of juice. So as you guys just saw, the Slowstar juicer was able to produce more juice than the JuicePresso. Now I want to go ahead and try the juices to let you guys know the consistencies. Actually, there's very little pulp in the JuicePresso. Let's go ahead and try the Slowstar. Now it's really tough on the papaya. It seems a little bit thicker on the Slowstar than the JuicePresso, but it's not objectionable because it's not hard fibers like carrots would be, right? It's softer. Let's go ahead and check the pulp out. Looks like the JuicePresso extracted actually way more pulp, so there must be a lot of pulp still stuck in the Slowstar that didn't get ejected. But if we take the pulp and we squeeze it, you guys can see we squeezed a few drips out, but mostly it's just pulp squeezing out in my hand there. And let's check the JuicePresso pulp here, see if it's significantly wetter or not. So we're squeezing this out, and once again we're getting about the same amount of drips out. So, you know, that's not super clear on which juicer was more efficient just by the pulp alone. But as you guys saw, the Slowstar did make a little bit more juice. Now, it's not a major difference in the yield, and if the juicers were priced evenly or the JuicePresso was actually less than the Slowstar, I'd probably maybe recommend that. But the fact of the matter is this machine is $170 less and includes the additional attachment. So you you pay less and you get a lot more, including more yield with the Tribest Slowstar juicer. So in the end of this juice off comparison, I'm going to have to declare the winner, the Slowstar juicer. Not only did it make a higher yield, it costs a lot less, it has a longer warranty, it has a, Tribest behind it that's been in business for over 25 years in the United States. I mean, there's no other reason why you should not get the Slowstar than the JuicePresso Platinum. So, hope you guys enjoyed this episode. If you guys enjoyed my juice off comparisons, be sure to check my past episodes. I have over 400 different juice off comparisons to let you guys know the truth about juicers, because manufacturers, they'll talk a lot of smack, they'll say a lot of things that may not be accurate, but I share with you guys the machines, share with you guys the results so that you guys know what machine does what in real world juicing, because that's literally what I do every day in my life. I use these machines, I juice to make my breakfast. I mean, this is my breakfast today, all right? So yeah, check my past episodes, and if you enjoy my videos sharing with you guys education about the juicers that you're not going to find anywhere else, I would encourage you guys to support me and my work by making your purchase at discountjuicers.com. Also, be sure to click that subscribe button right down below to be notified of my new and upcoming episodes. I have episodes coming out about every 5 to 7 days on comparing new juicers or blenders, dehydrators, reviewing them, letting you guys know what's new and coming out in the industry even before it's available. And be sure to click that like button if you like this video so that I'll continue to make more videos to educate people about, juicing fruits and vegetables and how you guys can increase your fruit and vegetable consumption by using these amazing tools known as juicers. So once again, my name is John Kohler with DiscountJuicers.com. Be sure to visit DiscountJuicers.com/YouTube for special promotional offers for our YouTube visitors. Alright, this is John Kohler with DiscountJuicers.com. Today was another exciting episode for you, and this one has been over 20 years in the making, actually. What I'm going to do in this episode is actually explain to you guys the best juicer for you. Now, I've made other videos before, the best juicer, this and that, like years ago. But here's the thing. As times change, as new juicers come out, the best juicer